What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Culture Decides. I'm your host, Lee, and this is episode 8. I hope y'all are feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. This is April, weather been sneaking in, giving us a little bit of that heat that's to come. But it's been a little cold the last couple of days. But can't complain. It's been a very chill month so far. So I'm excited to continue chatting with you all. And, I'm almost to episode 10. We almost there, y'all. We almost there. That's a milestone for sure. It's going to be a big achievement for me. Listen, every episode feels great. You know what I'm saying? Number 8, then there's 9, but we going to get there. I ain't going to rush it. But, you know, outside of just like the chatter, yapping. Let me get into the agenda for this episode. As far as the agenda for this episode, I'm going to talk through some special announcements. I'm going to let y'all know some news, what's been on repeat. And then, of course, the review section where I can either talk about EPs, mixtapes, or albums. For this one, I have an EP and 2 albums. An EP by this duo called PARTYOF2 that I just came across. NAV dropped his album On My Way to Rexdale, and Lil Durk dropped Deep Thoughts. So those are the 3 projects I will be tapping into later. But I know y'all might have heard that first one, special announcements. What do I have in store for y'all? Well, as far as the special announcements, I have 3 things I wanted to share with y'all. First one is that I am officially going to be dropping episodes bi-weekly. I was, playing around with it at first, wanted to see how everyone gravitated towards just me talking to y'all. And, I'm feeling the love, feeling the support. Now, another special announcement. There will be a very, very special episode coming up soon. I teased it on socials for y'all that was paying attention to my story. If you didn't see it, don't worry. More to come soon on that. I can't say too much, but a very special surprise will be very apparent to y'all very soon. And then another special announcement is that I am now accepting music submissions. So for anyone that's an artist, if you're a producer, a songwriter, you make art that you want me to listen to, there will be a submission link within the description box of this episode. And I'll also share it on socials where there'll be more updates, but some disclaimers. All reviews, of course, I will do my best to review them all, but not every submission will have a guaranteed spot on the show. With this review, I'll be talking about whatever you submit and just giving feedback to share with the culture. And I want this to kind of be a place where y'all can share y'all art. I know there's some people that are listening that they make their own music and things like that. So if you want to share something with me, a song, beat, whatever that is, I would love to share it to the others that listen to the show and let them know, like, hey, go check this song out now. This is what I think about it, kind of thing. So like I said, not every submission guarantees placement, but I'll do my best to kind of just show love to those that's been grinding. Like, I don't care if you have fucking 50 followers, 5,000. I don't care if you have 5 streams. If it sounds good to me and I feel like it's worth, just spreading to other people, I will for sure do that. This is the platform for the culture. And I feel like from now, I need to make the effort of giving back to y'all in some way. And if that means like, hey, showcasing what y'all do. Shit, if you a painter and you're like, yo, I want you to shout out my artwork that I do in that sense, I don't care. Like, that's art too. Like, the point is I'm here to show love the way that y'all been showing it to me. I want to give back in that sense. Stay tuned on socials at the Culture Decides on everything, and feel free to DM me any questions. And also within the description box of this episode, in addition to the submission link, if you want to send over any of your art, music, beat, whatever that is, there will be an option for you all to hit me up. Let me know what y'all think of this episode. Let me know what's on y'all playlist. I want to know. I want to hear. I want to engage with y'all. So there will be an option to, if you click that, it'll show up as a text. Send me a text. Let me know what's up. Now, on to the news. I have 5 things I want to share with y'all. 5 things. I chose 5 things this time. There's a few things that's happened since the end of March to the beginning of April, but I handpicked 5 things that I thought y'all might find interesting. Now, the first one, J. Cole just actually had the annual Dreamville Fest over the weekend. This was said to be the last one. He did pop on and let us know that it's not going anywhere. The name may go, but it's going to come back in a new form, and there will be more to come soon on that. So I'm pretty excited that it's not ending before I get the chance to go out there and enjoy it myself. But yeah, that was a very special announcement that he made at the festival over the weekend. Fire ass performances. Ari Lennox was there, JID. He brought out 21 Savage, Thames, and of course himself. And, when he popped out, Erykah Badu popped out with him. So it seemed like a very fun time. Like everybody seemed to be having a fucking fantastic time enjoying themselves there. And like, that Southern love, like NC, y'all lucky, y'all get that there every year. But, one thing that stuck out to me was what J. Cole said. He, when he took the stage, it was just like, wow, like just so taken aback by everyone there, and like saying like it's giving cookout vibes, and like, it's great to just see the unity, and like, from what I see, it doesn't seem to be like a drama thing. It's not like Summer Jam where niggas popping outside and, oh, you look at me the wrong way, I'm popping you. Like, it just seemed like people genuinely out there to enjoy the different artists that they listen to. So festival season is starting, and he kicked it off real strong for sure. I been rewatching a lot of those performances, and I can't wait for him to actually drop the fall off. He teased Clouds. Well, not teased it. He actually dropped Clouds, which I feel like is a tease of what we're going to expect on the fall off, but can't wait to actually have it out. A year ago, he dropped Might Delete Later, and that got mixed reviews. I'll be honest, I wasn't really fucking with it because of the diss, and I feel like it wasn't really punching like J. Cole punch. You know what I'm saying? Them punchlines, those bars, it wasn't really doing it for me, and I feel like he got caught up in the wrong side of things, and then to take it back was kind of like, bro, this is why you shouldn't have said anything in the first place. But regardless, he is a GOAT, and I think he needs to get back to this, doing that, releasing music like Clouds, and feeding the fans. That's what we want. Do more dollar concerts. I don't know, something like that, because I want to go. Now, some news out of Atlanta. This is a mixture of highlights and lowlights, specifically for Young Thug. Now, highlights for him. He's beginning his album rollout. He actually made a Finsta, and the name of the Finsta is UI Scuti. Yeah, UI Scuti, which UI Scuti is known as the biggest red star. And it's so big that 5 billion suns can fit inside of it. And I guess this is his way of saying he's the biggest red star, repping his set, while not necessarily saying I'm a gang member. You gotta play safe, you know what I'm saying? But he teased a song, which was a callback to this song I Came From Nothing that he did with DJ Swamp Izzo. Shout out the Thugger Daily for actually calling that out. I was like, oh shit. I'm hoping that we'll be getting some classic Thug vibes with that. But, Lil Baby also changed his profile photo to Young Thug's UI Scotty jersey, and he's repping that too. So, of course, we're going to expect to hear Lil Baby on the album, but I am excited to hear from Young Thug. I feel like his features have been okay. Like his Dumb and Dumber feature was pretty good on Lil Baby's album, but some of the recent ones have been like, I feel like you could have kept this. Like, if it was going to just end up being this, you could have just kept that. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, On to some kind of like lowlights. He and Georgia, the state of Georgia, was getting into a little beef. The state of Georgia filed a motion to revoke his probation. They're claiming that he wasn't respecting the law and not respecting their proceedings, and that he's pretty much a threat to society. And people find it suspicious that this came after he spoke up about young Scooter's death. Now, RP, young Scooter, of course. What happened to young Scooter is that he was running from the cops, and their cops are saying that he injured his leg and bled out, but people are thinking that he got shot by the cops. They're trying to say they need their own autopsy to really prove what's going on. Overall, it's just sad that he lost his life. He passed on his birthday, and it is always sad to see artists die, especially at a young age. Scooter was on a few hits. He was on Young Thug's album Jeffrey on the song Guwap. He was on Jet Lag, which is on Future and Juice WRLD's collab album. He also dropped his project last year, sorry, he actually dropped a project earlier this year called Overseas Juggin' just in February. And then he's also behind the ATL Jacob tagline. So, it's always sad, like I said, a lot of rappers lose their life young. But like I was saying before about Young Thug, they find it suspicious that the motion came right after he spoke up expressing that he feels like it's cap what the cops are saying. So there's nothing to come of the motion. It seems as though that's going to get denied. And he's been like, I've been being good. I've been abiding to the laws. I just was vocal about the situation. But he got to play it safer because they trying to get him back in at whatever cost, it seems. Now, a little bit of reggae slash dancehall news. Shensia is actually departing Interscope Records. She was actually the only female Jamaican artist to release 2 albums under a major label in the last 10 years. So that's a pretty great milestone for her, accomplishment for her. Sources are saying that she's signing a new deal that's going to help push her international success. And, last episode I told y'all Shake It to the Max been on repeat. So, she herself she makes like solid music for sure. She makes great music. I just want to see her just continue to stick to her Jamaican roots. I feel like there was an era of her where she was sounding like a little Americanized. I feel like this is when she was working with London on the track a little bit, but I want to see what's to come when she signs this new deal. Let her continue staying authentic to herself, and that will be no problem with me. All right? Now, another news number 4, just to keep y'all posted of where we at. I got one more after this. So number 4, I thought this was important to bring up because this person has kind of been like a snake in the grass for the culture. At least I feel like it, and I feel like people go on there and make stupid decisions when they speak to this person. But apparently No Jumper is in a bad situation right now. People are like, is he done? Like, what's going on? Now, people have always accused No Jumper of being an informant. He's a podcast host. His real name is Adam. And on his podcast, No Jumper, he'll invite like a lot of like rappers and, different dudes that be doing a lot of different things. Okay. And he gets them really comfortable, and like the way he kind of lines up his question is, if you're not thinking and just staying on top of your toes, people get caught up, and people have said things that have led them to get locked up like not too long after the show. But like I said, they got to be responsible for what they say. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you always asking these sneaky questions. Like, even when people feel uncomfortable, he'll find a way to kind of like sneak back over to asking that question in another way. But he's gotten a lot of folks in trouble. And, let's say they gotten themselves in trouble, whatever. But I personally don't like the way he profits off the culture. I just feel like, why is he in the room? You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's been accused of being an informant by a lot of people, and he also has a lawsuit pending against him. And people think this is the reason why he is filing for bankruptcy. They're downsizing offices, they're firing employees. He's saying that they're broke. He has a smaller studio now. And people think that that's the real reason why he's filing for bankruptcy. People think that the real reason why he's filing for bankruptcy is because he's being sued by a former employee. Apparently, that whole legal proceedings is going to cost him like hundreds of thousands of dollars. The employee Yuri is claiming like misconduct in the workplace, and I guess has a lot of shit on Adam that he can put out there, and it's not looking good, but it could be possible that he's filing bankruptcy so for this. You know, a lot of people that are quote unquote rich, or a lot of, I guess, rich business people tend to do that, and he seems to make a pretty penny that he's trying to protect. Now, number 5, I've been updating y'all about the UMG situation with Drake. I figured I'd keep that going. Now, this is actually a W for Drake. Pretty much what happened is that a judge denied UMG's motion to stay discovery in Drake's defamation case. And what that means is that they have to reveal any of their communication regarding Kendrick and everything leading up from the diss down to freaking Super Bowl. They want to see all the communication about Kendrick, about the diss song, about his contract even. So they have to apparently like set an agreement of when they're going to come forward with everything by April 9th, which is literally this week. Which, you know, if y'all listening to it right away, same day today. So both parties have to submit a joint file with all the evidence regarding this, and you know, hopefully this shows that everything was as normal. Like, hey, UMG is like, hey, I'm supporting this artist as the way any label will support an artist they have on their roster, as in the same way that we've supported Drake. But we're gonna see what comes of it. I feel like regardless of what comes of it, it doesn't deny the impact that Kendrick has had on the community, on the culture. People literally have felt like the song was hitting different generations. Little kids love the song. Old people love the song. Everybody loves the song. I mean, it's everybody except, you know, people that don't. But a lot of people felt moved by his work too. I mean, you know, people always gonna hate on Kendrick, but it is what it is. Now on to some music. Enough of the tea talk. Time for the music talk. As far as what's on repeat, this is the on repeat section. That's what I'm about to call it. This will consist of any singles, EPs, whatever, mixtapes, albums that I have on repeat. Now, the first few that I will mention are going to be reggae songs. I will go through my singles first, and then I'll talk about any projects. I have a total of 6 singles and albums. Now, as far as the singles, the first 2 are dancehall songs. Of course, I gotta show love there always. Popcorn dropped 2 songs for us. 2 songs. He dropped Body Round, actually March 28th. This one's for the ladies. This is, you know what I'm saying? This one is complimenting the ladies. Body Round. Just from the name, you should know. I like, you know, I feel like Popcorn is always good at giving you different vibes, the talking to the ladies, the, you know, making her feel good, the Bodman vibes, you know, the pouring his heart out and expressing his feelings. Now, the next song that I have on here is actually by him, and it's called How You Gonna Know. This one was dropped literally this week, 4/7. This is him expressing his feelings about fake people. You know what I'm saying? He's like, how you gonna know if they selling you out and if they switching up on you? How you gonna know? And he's like, their loyalty washes away like chlorine and all that. Well, listen, Popcorn, you dropping these songs, I need an album. The last one that I really fuck with that he dropped was in 2018 called Forever. That album, top to bottom, I could listen to any day. I love that album. I feel like it was like it was stuck to me like you gotta play this when you get home, otherwise you're breaking routine. Like that was a banger for me, top to bottom for sure. Now, another song on my replay list on repeat, number 3. It's a silly song, disclaimer, but I like it. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Don't feel bad about it. What the Helly by Rob 49. I can't lie. It's been stuck in my head. I be walking around like, what the Helly? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, he got that catchy phrase now that whenever I feel like I'm about to say what the hell, or I'm like, what the fuck's going on? That's what comes to mind. What the Helly? So he ate with that. I ain't gonna lie. Rob 49 ate with that. Another song I have on here, number 4, 10 by Maya the Don. Now, Maya, let me tell you about Maya. Maya, she has been a hot commodity for a minute. All right. That was actually the name of her last album in 2023, Hot Commodity. And honestly, I'm waiting for another album. 2025, we need another one. She's an artist out of Brooklyn, big enough for Brooklyn, and she goes hard. She dropped this 10 song. It's a sample of Shorty is the Shit / Shorty is a 10. We were singing both. And I feel like she's great at like remaking those early 1000 vibes that we really fuck with and adding her own flavor to it. She also makes, her own original sound songs too. And her breakout hit was Telfie after the Telfar bag. And she also had features prior to that was fire. She was on Conceited by Flo Milli and Lola Brooke and ate that up too. And I can't wait to hear what else she got in store. We got 10. I'm going to need 10 more. Let's go, Maya. Now, number 5, this is getting into like a little bit of the albums I got. So I've been playing a little bit of Playboi Carti. Some may call it brain rot music, but yes, I've been playing a little bit of music on repeat. The 3 songs, Trim by Future, I mean not by Future, but Trim featuring Future, Charge Them Hoes a Fee, and Backdoor with Kendrick and Jhené Aiko. Those 3 songs been on repeat from music. And then another album that's been on repeat, The Outcome by Elton Beats and the Black Soprano Family, I See and Punctuality. Those 2 songs right there. Those 2 songs right there have been on repeat. All right. So now, about to go into the review section of the episode. I have an EP, like I mentioned earlier, and 2 albums for y'all. Party of 2, which is a duo that includes Jada Grace and Swim, aka Coy Store. I'm gonna call him Swim. And then an album by NAV, On My Way to Rexdale. And then Lil Durk dropped Deep Thoughts Behind Bars. Not Deep Thoughts Behind Bars, but Deep Thoughts is the name of the album. This was actually supposed to come out in October, but it got pushed back after he got arrested. So we finally got that. Now, before I hop into these albums, want to refresh y'all on what I'm looking for as I'm listening to them. Whether it's an EP, mixtape, or album, I'm rating it based off of the creativity, the bars, the versatility, the features, and the impact it has on me and, the audience I guess it reaches too. Now, like I said before, impact of like how it reaches other people doesn't always happen right away. It depends on how the song's pushed. And sometimes songs can blow up like a year or years later. So at first I'm measuring that initial impact, how I feel about the song, how I'm vibing to it. You know what I'm saying? Like what type of mood, depending on the mood of the song, does it put me in? Like, is it a sad song? Does it help me feel like I'm navigating my emotion? I don't fucking know, but the impact is what I'm looking for. How do I feel when I feel this song? Does it make me want to get lit? Does it feel like it could carry me through a moment? Whatever the case is, right? Now, I usually like to listen to each project twice. And first time or second time, I'm taking notes one of those times. And the other time, I'm just vibing to it, And when I'm taking my notes, I'm rating each song 1 to 3. Now, 1 means it's mid, 2 means good, 3 means fire. 3 fire signs. 1 mid, 2 good, 3 fire signs. It's a bop on repeat. You know what I'm saying? At the end, I rate each album 1 through 10. And depending on where it lands, I'll give it a letter grade as well to coincide with that from A through F. Now, we gonna get into the fun stuff. What I've been listening to and what I've been reviewing. I got y'all. Now, the first one I said it will be an EP from a duo. I actually just came across them last week. This duo called PARTYOF2. They dropped an EP called We Owe You an Explanation. And I'm going to tell you why. So, We Owe You an Explanation is a 3-song EP. Real quick listen, 8 minutes. And the reason why they owe, I guess, us an explanation is because they actually used to be a group. Not a duo, a group of 4. A group of 4 called Group Therapy. And the group in the last years have been a little dismantled. Some members have left. Some even came back and left again. And I'm going to give y'all a little background about the group, of course, before. Now, this group, they were actually founded in 2019 by the duo that remains, Jada Grace and Coy Stewart, which, like I said, aka known as Swim. And then the other 2 are Rhea and TJ Online, right? All 4 of them are former child actors. And I thought that was pretty cool. Jada Grace, she was in The Terminator, and she had her own TV show called The Jada Grace Show. It was about a 12-year-old going viral. So that was pretty cool for her at a young age to have those Terminator and your own show around, with your own name in it. And then Coy Stewart, aka Swim, he was Kevin in the remake of Are We There Yet? That remake was like the episode series where Terry Crews plays the dad, and then he actually was in a couple Nickelodeon shows as well, and he was the main character in Logic's music video for the 1-800 song, which that was a song about suicide awareness and things of that nature. But all of them have been in the limelight at some point. So I thought that was pretty cool to share with you all. Now on the TJ Online, no longer part of the group. He's actually one of the members that left the group, came back, and left them again last year. Actually, he recently left, and that kind of stung them a bit. Now, TJ Online, his name is actually Terrell Jackson Williams, and he's related to Tyler Williams, which is the guy that played played Chris from Everybody Hates Chris, and also Gregory from Abbott. So, yeah, that's Gregory's little brother, y'all, / Chris's little brother. And he was also in a couple episodes of Everybody Hates Chris himself. He was in a Naked Brothers band movie, a few commercials. He was in Lab Rats, and he also played the voice of Tyrone in the Backyardigans. So, like I said, star-studded group that is now down to 2. And then now the 4th one, Rhea, Elijah Rhea Johnson, he played young Simba on Broadway in Lion King. He was also the lead singer on the Kids Bop crew, and he was also the person that replaced Prodigy in that group Mindless Behavior from 2014 to 2017. I don't know if y'all remember them, but I definitely did. I had my face when I was like, oh my god, Mindless Behavior over that. But he also played MJ on Broadway. So they all been making moves. As far as Group Therapy, they had released a few albums, mixtapes, but after they released like their first EP and mixtape, Rhea and TJ had left. This was like around late 2020, and then TJ had came back in 2022. They made their second EP, and then they even had Tanashi on one of their projects. They dropped their debut album as a trio, and then he left later 2024. So that's when the Group Therapy was like, all right, Jada Grace and Swim, they're like, we're a party of 2, just us. So they had to make a statement. So with this EP, it's called We Owe You an Explanation. And honestly, y'all, it was a nice sample of what's to come with these two. I think they are perfectly fine by themselves. I mean, I came across them from seeing one of their music videos go viral, the behind the scenes of it, and I'll get into that actually. But I was like, oh my god, I have to talk about them. This is so fucking cool. Like, and their story too. Like, I'm really fucking with what they're dropping, and I can't wait to see what else is to come of just them two working with each other. Now, as far as the EP, I said there's 3 songs. The first song on the EP is called Mad Love. This song was 3 out of 3 for me. Absolutely fire. And with this song, it begins with intro like "Who's mad at me?" and it's given like a 90s, like a disco funky kind of rap vibe. It's giving Vogue, it's giving strut, it's giving like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm talking my shit. For me, it kind of reminded me of something like Renaissance. Like I feel like Beyonce would be like, ooh, I like this, let me hop on here and add my own flavor to it. Like I don't know, it was giving me, just to help y'all like get an idea of what it sounded like. And in the song, they're like, "You don't like me and I love it." And then, Swim comes in like, "Put your hands up if you know a couple niggas you can't trust." And I'm like, oh, shade. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this EP was their chance to like put it out there a little bit, talk their shit, and say we gonna be good regardless, right? So this song kicks it off like mad love. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess they got mad love for you, but this is what's going on. They got people around they can't trust. And another bar that they said in the song was head of the table getting removed. It's only a party of two. And it's them now, Jada Grace and Swim. Now the next track on there is called Poser. Poser, 3 out of 3, fire. This is actually the song that led me to look into them. So there was a video going around where they used a probe lens to shoot the music video. And what a probe lens is that it's this long, slender lens that can capture like video in small, tight, unusual places, and it offers like this like bug eye kind of look. So what happened is they put that probe lens within Jada's like mouth, right at they put the probe lens by Jada's mouth, and then within her mouth Koi pops up and starts rapping. It's kind of crazy. It sounds crazy how I'm describing it, but y'all gotta check it out. It's Poser. I fuck with it. I think it was a great video. And in the song, they're like strike a pose, pretty much like calling out the fake people. They said this is for the fake people in your corner. Eliminate them. Tell them strike a pose because you caught them in the camera being fake. That's the vibe I got from it. And I'm not gonna lie, this one, it kind of gave me like Tyler the Creator vibes. It reminded me of Sticky, the way it kind of had like that marching band kind of effect to it. But I really love this song. Jada Grace is like, yo, go get the mop, I gotta clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like how they deliver bars back and forth. And it that one of the bars that stuck out to me was like, don't let me leave these bitches tripping like they broke a heel. Like there's a lot of like nicely delivered bars on this song. And like I said, this duo is one to pay attention to. I love their style. It's very like, it feels like they're just free. They're being themselves on the track. So I fuck with it. All right. So now track 3 on here, it's called All for the Best. And this song, it's more on the opposite end of the first two songs were, although they were like talking their shit, it was like a little more bright. This one was giving like sad vibes, and I feel like this is where they really expressed how they felt about like the group kind of like dismantling and everything like that. And within it are like, we barely got to therapy because they been so busy dealing with bullshit. Koi and Jada are reflecting on what they've seen in life, and all the pain, and wishing those who hurt them well, regardless of what they feel. And that's real. Sometimes you gotta wish people well, even though they got you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, one thing that Koi, aka Swim, goes on the track and says, he's like, should have never turned his friends into a franchise. You left, it felt like a friend died. And I'm like, ooh, damn, Koi. You ain't have to say it like that. I feel like that was a really fire bar right there. And that's what really made me like the song, them just diving into like the pain they felt and still being able to make art regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, still being able to push through the thing that felt like, damn, you really just like stumped our shit. But on here, he moves on. They move on to say, adios, amigo, rest in peace, my favorite trio. And I feel like that was directly towards TJ Online because he was the one that most recently left. And then another bar in here. Koi's like, we had plans to be each other's best mans, wedding flowers and baby showers we were supposed to attend. Just diving into like, yo, we were supposed to see life together, to like move on to do more things with each other. They move on to say like, this is a pain GT couldn't even mend. Rest in peace GT, aka group therapy. So, group therapy, it's couldn't even fix group therapy. Now, apparently, according to them, the breakup of the group was via text. So that also very much was something that made them feel a type of way, and I can't blame them. So they had to pour it out on this track, and I rated this one 3 out of 3 for sure. Solid EP. All songs were 3 out of 3 for me. Fire songs, and this was an A plus, easily an A plus. If they deliver an album giving these vibes throughout, or if they want to get funky and mix it up, but just be consistent with the delivery, the cadence, the beats that we got, the creativity, everything, that album will easily be an A plus. Party of Two, keep on fucking rocking. That shit was fire. Oh, and I should mention, out of the 3 songs, it was really hard to choose my top song on here. I want to say it's Poser because that's what helped me discover the group. And the video, I feel like when I combine that all, I'm like, okay, that's my favorite song. If I had to choose my second, if I had to rank them, Poser would be number 1, All the Best would be number 2, and Mad Love would be number 3 for me. But depending on the mood you want, pick one. If you want the sad, All the Best. If you want more, I'm talking about shit, call them out. Poser. You want some funky shit, Mad Love. If they do this again, the album's gonna be great. Now, the second project I will review, NAV actually dropped his album called On My Way to Rexdale. He's been teasing this for a minute. He's been teasing songs since like 2023. Now, On My Way to Rexdale is 14 songs, 37 minutes. Rexdale is actually where Nav is from. The last time Nav dropped was actually in 2022. He dropped Demons Protected by Angels and Emergency Tsunami. I am not gonna lie, I've always loved Nav's music. I would say I'm more of like a older Nav kind of vibe. And when I say that, I mean like 2017, 2018 was really like peak Nav for me. Peak Nav fandom, I should say. Nav, his self-titled album that came out in 2017, I really like Myself. That was my fave song on there. Lonely in Some Way with The Weeknd. And then Perfect Timing, that dropped later that year in 2017. That is my absolutely favorite album from him. From Perfect Timing, the song itself, hit ASAP Ferg, Minute with Playboi Carti and Offset, and then the Nav Uzi Metro song. I mean, that project was fire through and through. And then Reckless, he dropped in May 2019. Wanted You with Uzi, that was always on repeat for me. I would play that song like back to back, no problem. Champion with Travis, and then Freshman List. I mean, that was peak Nav. I feel like that was definitely like, yo, oh, this is who we gotta pay attention to. Now, he dropped in between then, of course, but I feel like those projects weren't really like it for me. So I was excited to see him drop again. And I was like, okay, let's see what kind of vibes we can expect. Like I said, some of the songs were teased before. Honestly, recapping some of his older music, it took me back. I was just bumping his old shit before I got into Rexdale. I'm like, damn, like this is what Nav is about. Like Nav has always been like delivering on the low. Like I feel like he isn't as known as like a lot of artists, but he definitely should be. I'm not gonna lie. As far as this album's performance, it's set to debut number 3 on the Billboard 200 with 83K. And apparently that number might get sliced in half due to Billboard's new like way of like ranking songs. So it might end up selling less than 40K. Not sure, but if y'all are fixated on the numbers, which don't let the numbers decide what you listen to. I feel like it's out there. It looks like it may not even touch 100K. So on this album, we did get a lot of singing Nav. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't mad at it. But just to take y'all through the songs, like I said, there's 14 songs on there, and I will say he kicked it off really strong. Track number 1, Sinking. This song, it's kind of like giving Letter to a Lover vibes, and he's like, I wasn't trying to build you up and destroy you, and that how while he's on tour his addictions got her worried. So he's kind of talking to like the woman that he's in love with, like, she's worried while I'm out, and since she actually left the house, he's been feeling alone, giving breakup vibes, and he's sinking all alone in this world. I feel like Nav typically gives that lonely, heartbreak, addicted to drugs, rapper vibes. So kind of continues the story here. And honestly, I really love the beat of this song and the choir singing along with him. I thought it was a beautiful intro song. And sometimes people like sleep on the intro song. I don't know why. You want to get people to continue listening, right? So go hard. I feel like that's what he did here. He actually had teased the trailer behind the scenes of him singing with the choir, and he captioned it, y'all got R&B Nav before y'all got GTA 6. So I'll take it. GTA 6 better be coming this. Yeah, whatever. That's for my gaming nerds. Now, this song was beautifully mixed, and the song intro, I think is great. I would say this song is definitely 3 out of 3 for me. Now, track 2, You featuring Don Toliver. This was teased last year in 2024. And on here, he's like, you don't gotta cry. I'll drop everything to see you one more time. And, he's going to make sure you go with him. It's kind of like that reassurance song for the lover. And Don Toliver comes in singing like, yo, can I slide on you one time, even though he's not her man. And it's giving slower singing vibes from them both. Overall, honestly, the song wasn't that memorable to me. I feel like Don Toliver's features usually are better, but this for me, I felt like it was mid. It was 1 out of 3. So to move on to track 3, Stay Up. I will say the transition from You to Stay Up, I really liked. I feel like the vibes continued over. This is Nav on his solo vibes now. And this was previewed actually in 2023. And on there, he's like, don't touch his cup. It's not no liquor in there. It's probably, some lean or some other shit. And he uses like a deep voice effect on this track. And he's like, everybody's sleeping. When everybody's sleeping, I'm up. Thoughts running through his head, racing, sipping on the drugs, popping pills, whatever the case is. And he had OG Ron C come on here like, yo, this is Mr. Chop, not Slop himself, blah, 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 shouting him out. This song, another track that wasn't really that memorable for me. Didn't really feel the need to like replay it. So I ranked this one as mid, 1 out of 3. Now track 4, it's called Burbs. This is when he starts to pick it back up. This one, he actually shot the music video for in India at home. And this one, he's like, yo, I used to spend all day in the projects. Now he's tucked up in the burbs. I really like it. I feel like he was getting on his melodic vibes and that melodic rap vibe flow that Nav is typically really good at. And then on the song, he's like, he's been so high the last 7 years. He couldn't even tell you what's going on. I'm like, damn, bro, you need to chill. But yeah, this song was 3 out of 3 for me. Fire. Now, track 5. This is when some more features are sprinkled in. We have Unlimited with Playboy Cardi and The Weeknd. This song, I'm not gonna lie, it low-key disappointed me. And I feel like I'm not sure if it was maybe Cardi fatigue after I listened to fucking 34 songs on music or what, but it wasn't really sticking out to me. Like, people were gassing it up on socials, but it wasn't really doing that for me. Like, on it, Nav said he could fuck around and go deep voice just like Cardi. I thought that was a fire bar, but ain't nothing crazy. And the Weeknd is like kind of like just harmonizing over them, not really singing really. Like, he has his vocals fade in and out, and I feel like he could have had an actual role in the song a little more than what Cardi had, but whatever. For that, I went back to listen to it again, and I'm like, okay. At first, I was gonna give it 1 out of 3 and say it's mid. After I listened to it again, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So I give it 2 out of 3. Good. It's good. That's for him. That's okay. Like, if you have the Weeknd on the song, it should be fire. Okay, 3 out of 3. That's how I feel about it. But whatever. We gonna take what we get, right? Now, the Weeknd might have saved all his good songs for his own album, but whatever. On to track 6, Back to Business. Back to picking it back up. On this, he's talking his shit. He's like, oh, let me get on my rapping vibes. I want to rap. That's what he says in the beginning. And on this, he picks up his pace and he's actually delivering like bars after bars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this one was a 3 out of 3. This is what I like to hear. Okay? You know what I'm saying? That one was fire. Now, on to track 7. You and I. He spells it out. Letter U and I. But on the song, he's pretty much singing about you and I. He's like, you and I, we could do all these things. All these things are for you and I. And he kind of has like a woman's voice singing that part with him. This one's for the ladies. Nav is on his R&B vibes again. And I thought this was a really great song. 3 out of 3, fire for me. So now we move on to track 8, One of None. This song, I love the effects that were used on his voice, but honestly, this is another song that was okay. It wasn't anything crazy. I would say this song is a 1 fire sign out of 3. It's mid-ish. I was going back and forth between 1 to 2, but no, I didn't really care too much for it. Now on to track 9, Need You. That was fire. Need is spelled with 2 X's instead of 2 E's, and this song, I think it's like a song dedicated to ecstasy. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, wait, is he talking to like a woman? He's like, oh, he's excited when he sees her. And then he's like, yo, she got me sweaty. And then when he said, got my lips peeling, I'm like, wait, the shawty you fucking with got you sweaty and your lips peeling? Hold on. And then he moves on to say, ecstasy never feels lonely when you're next to me. Anti-social when he with her, feel like mingling when he's on it. I don't know. Like, pretty much ecstasy keeps it company, and they've been together for 5 years. It was given love song to drugs. That's what it was given. But I thought it was creative. I thought it was a pretty good song, so I did give it 3 out of 3. It was fire. Check it out. Yeah, let me know if I'm bugging or not, but I ain't promoting doing that kind of stuff, okay? I'm just saying it was kind of creative how he did it. Now, track 10, Real Me featuring Metro Boomin. This one he actually teased right before the album dropped. And when I heard this, it is what made me super excited for this album on top of NAV dropping again. But I was like, oh shit, Metro Boomin on the beat. I really liked it off rip. I think it was perfectly placed after Need You. And then pretty much on the song, he's like, when I'm coming down, I want you to see me. I want you to see, I want you to need me. And he's coming down, that's the real me. So I feel like at first he was kind of talking to like about his love for ecstasy or whatever drugs, whatever's in his cup. And then he moves on to like, actually, when I'm off these drugs, like that's what I want my lover, whoever, to see me, and like that's when I need you and want you to need me, and whatever the case is. This song was 3 out of 3. It was a fire song. Now track 11 is called Red. This one, he's like, he's drowning in his cup and all he sees is red, and he don't care if he ends up dead as long as his cup is full. Apparently that sip be relieving him. He speaks about how he got more hoes than Flavor Flav, and that, you know, he just got this love for seeing red. It's bad. It's toxic. This song was 2 out of 3, a good song for me. Now track 12, we almost through Knives on my way to Rexdale. We got Keep Going. And on this, he's like, fuck it all. I want to keep going. He still got something to prove. He don't need nobody help because they just getting in his way. Fuck off. Leave him alone. He got to keep going for himself. This song, though, honestly, was mid. It was 1 out of 3 for me. It was alright. It was nothing crazy. Now, track 13, this is another I song, Get to You. It really didn't stick out to me. I thought it was mid. I feel like the album was kind of like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is good. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's good. Now, track 14 is called Pain Away. This one is the last track, and he's like, you're just like my medicine. You take my pain away. You're like therapy. Like, you take good care of me. I don't need nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Seems like another message to drugs. Maybe it could be to his lover, but at this point, what can you trust coming from that? But I do feel like I said, there was a couple moments where I like, oh, this is a really great song. Oh, this is all right. And he did drop a deluxe, but the deluxe came out only on his website and it was sold out right away. So there's 8 unreleased songs that is only available to his website. I don't know when he gonna restock on a digital album, but it came out on April 2nd, and those songs there, I did not get to listen to yet. So based off of the 14 songs that were available, not sold out, I'm gonna say my best solo song out of this album is Sinking. That was the first song that had like that choir R&B vibes to it. That was great. He started off strong, like I said. That was the best solo. The best feature, the best feature song on here is You featuring Don Toliver. I feel like I was sort of let down by Don Toliver and Playboi Carti. Travis and Future didn't make it to this album, even though they had a song together. It seems as though they didn't get the clearance. Probably would have liked that one a lot more, but if I had to choose, it'll be You featuring Don Toliver. Now, could have kept this song, Stay Up and Get to You. Those are like towards the end, I don't know, they weren't like that really interesting. And to get to my top 5, I will say Real Me, that's number 1. Number 2, You and I. Number 3, Sinking. 4, Back to Business. And 5, Need You. Those are my top 5 songs. I will say this album overall, it was a B minus, 7.5 out of 10. I feel like I was a little let down, but there were times where I really did see, oh, this is Nav. I feel like compared to his previous work, which I will give those A plus, this wasn't really hitting like that. Once, if I do hear the deluxe, if he decides to release it on streaming services, I'll let y'all know how I feel about it, if it adds or improves the score of this album. But yeah, this is a B minus. Singing Nav could have had better melodies and more memorable verses, and I feel like he's typically very good at that. But yeah, B minus. Now, last but not least, Lil Durk, Deep Thoughts, 17 songs, 45 minutes. This one was supposed to drop like 4 different times. It's his ninth studio album, finally released, and he has some things to get off his chest. He wasn't sure about putting this out. He actually released a letter like, "Hey, I wasn't gonna put this out, but then I remembered the streets needed this," and he said that not being outside to like see how everyone's feeling the album was making him feel very sad. And it's hard to drop and be behind the walls, but he's going to feel everyone's energy from behind bars, and he wants to tell the stories of the streets, so the voice is never lost. He's the voice, and he said he's coming home soon, stronger than ever. We gonna see. We gonna see about that one. But Lil Durk is actually the most certified rapper of 2025. He earned 53 actually new RIAA certs right before this album dropped. His last album was Almost Healed in 2023. It was supposed to drop in October, but then him and some of the OTF gang got locked up in connection to a murder for hire plot. Now, you remember everybody would be like, "Oh, you're not going to get it back in blood for Von." Well, apparently he did. He had hired someone to kill Quando Rondo. They ended up killing his cousin instead. And, they apparently had evidence that led to putting him in jail along with the rest of them. Some of these songs were actually recorded prior to his arrest. I feel like they kind of speak to the life he was living prior to getting locked up based off of like him speaking on like addiction and street life, shit like that. To get into the songs, number one, Shaking When I Pray, the intro song of the album. I feel like he started off very strong here. Apparently the song though did have some controversy because he included a prayer. His faith, he follows the Muslim faith, and he had a prayer in there that some found disrespectful. Some people were like, what's the problem with it if that's his faith? I'm not sure about it, but I do feel outside of that, in the immediate intro of that being there, the song overall was pretty good. And on the song, he's like, he was in Cleveland Clinic. He almost met God that week. I guess he was tweaking. And there's a part of the song where he's kind of like sing rapping. He's like, "Oh, they my rival. Do anything to go viral." And then he's like, "Yo, what? Like what? What would they do to go viral?" It's like, "They'll kill your idol." I don't know. I like that. I like that. I like that. I can't put the tracks on here, so I'm gonna have to sing to y'all every now and then. But, but yeah, that was 3 out of 3 fire intro song for me. And then track 2, Keep On Sipping. Keep on sipping. Pretty much he's talking through the different struggles that led him down the path to keep on sipping. How he at one point was like, "Yo, I gotta stop." He turned his life over to Islam. He made a promise not to keep on sipping, but shit keeps happening that kind of leads him back down that route to keep that cup full. So this song, I gave it 2 out of 3. And then we hop into track 3. This is where his first feature shows up. They Wanna Be You featuring Future. This song, Future kind of kicks it off like how they want to be just like you. They want to be you. On here it's like he's the real idol. You know what I'm saying? They're giving various comparisons of like, "Yo, they doing this. They want to be just like you." And then they're like, all the kids rap. They want to be just like you. And then he's like, yeah, Lil Durk at one point, he's like, "When I'm hurt, like my mama, I don't want to vent just like you." I thought this song was, I thought, I thought this was a pretty solid song with Future on it. I gave it 3 out of 3 fire song for me. And then track 4, Soul Bleed. Now on this, he's talking about like all the reasons that kind of makes his soul that made his soul bleed. He spoke about how he bonded out niggas with money that he was supposed to use for a feature. How now they not even speaking to him. How he messed up with his kids, and when he locked up, all the things that all the betrayal that just left him feeling like, damn, my soul is hurt and bleeding, is wounded. This song was a 2 out of 3. It's a pretty good song on there. And then track 5, 1,000 times with Lil Baby. This is when another feature steps in. Um, and on here, Durk is expressing how he Googles Von's pic every day and how he's not capping. You could check his search history and how he done sat in a courtroom for a day and seen 1,000 cases, 1,000 trials. The people that he used to fuck with in the hood, they left him drowning. They ain't really loyal. And, Lil Baby on the song comes in and I feel like this was like the "Hey, I'm a good guy" kind of song. Lil Baby comes in and he's like, "Yo, the youngins think getting a life sentence is cool. It's not cool. Like they don't care about money anymore. They care about guns, and that's not what it is. That's not what's valid." So this song, I gave it 2 out of 3. It's a pretty good song, but I feel like Lil Baby's verse wasn't nothing special. I've been having a challenge finding his verses like appealing. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I don't know if I'm just tired of hearing his sound, but maybe that's me. Now track 6, turn it up a notch. On here, Durk is talking his shit back on his solo vibes. He's like, he had to turn it up because people was doubting him, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then on the song, he's like, tell on who? I don't have a clue. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then on it, he's like, murder cases I'm watching from Zoom. So I'm like, you watching all these murder cases from Zoom? Yeah, y'all need to chill out. Like, damn. But this song here was 2 out of 3. It's a good song. 2 out of 3, good. Now, number 7, Vanish Mode. This song it was okay. This one, he's talking about how he kind of moves with women. He be on Vanish Mode. I feel like it was 1 out of 3. It was mid. It was nothing special. Now, track 8, Monitoring Me. That was when he picked it back up. This one, I think he was talking his street life shit. He's like, half the niggas that rap don't really be in the rack. They don't really be outside. So on the song, he's like, I don't even gotta pay a nigga to do anything. All my friends are killers. And I'm like, okay. Don't you think saying that is why they might have been like, yo, we got him. Like, you got the wire on yourself. But whatever. He's on here talking to his ops. He's like, I ain't even see you on nothing. You ain't on timing. You ain't moving nothing. How you gonna do something and you ain't even here to stand up for yourself. But this song was 3 out of 3 for me. Fire song. Now hopping into the midway later part of the album, track 9, Untouchable. On here, he's like, yo, these niggas be on some whole shit and then they gonna blame it on being high. Any niggas that he cut ties with, he did it because he had to do it. And how his ops went big on Instagram for likes. Now he pleading, and then he's like, pretty much he had to get them out his section, get the people out his section. Fake people get away. The beat, I feel like, was giving me like 2016 vibes. I feel like when I heard this, I'm like, okay, this after Monitor Me, yeah, he's picking it up. This was 3 out of 3. We're gonna hop into track 10, Notebook. No hook. This one, he's like, I thought about putting pounds in the jet, but that shit scared me. That Juice World shit be scaring me. This song was another mid song on the album. I thought it was like something that he didn't really need to drop, but now we're hopping into track 11, Can't Hide It, with Janae. This song, I really liked it. It did drop prior as a single off the album, and in the beginning is like an interview clip, like, oh, what's your relationship status? And Durk is like, married. And you're like, married. And then in the beginning, he kicks it off like, yo, turn your location on for safety reasons, or I'm gonna have to call your friends because I can't hide that I'm crazy. Like, he's singing for the ladies, I guess, like being psycho, but Janae comes in like, I'm sorry, I can't hide it. I feel like she really saved the song with her singing. But I'm not gonna lie, I listened to it again and I was like, okay, I like it. I fuck with it. I gave it 3 out of 3. It's a fire song. Now, track 12, Wondering Again. This is where he's like, yo, he's been hiding his pain. He's been hiding beers from his auntie that struggles with addiction because she be tripping. And he's like, yo, will you ever love me again? And that taking drugs makes him feel better. This song, though, he really poured his heart out. It was kind of mid for me. It felt kind of repetitive, so I did give it 1 out of 3. And then we move on to another song with a feature on it, Late Checkout, track 13, with Honcho this time. And this one, they're both singing. We got Honcho and Durk singing. I feel like Honcho, in my opinion, tends to do better on features, and I feel like I was feeling this song. I feel like it's a pretty good song, so I give this 2 out of 3. They're like, yo, we on our late checkout vibes. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I never thought I'll be in love before I met you. Googly eyes, whatever, that type of, I guess, love rap song or sing rap R&B type vibes. But that's what they was giving on there. 2 out of 3. Now to move on to the last few songs. Next song on here, I ain't even gonna lie. Track 14, Thank You Glowed. It was mid. It was a 1 out of 3. I didn't even want to rate it. On this song, he's kind of like being sassy, talking shit to like women, like, oh, you think you glow because you got your hair did, you got your ass did, and you fucking with rich niggas now. Like, he's being a shady nigga on us. I was like, ah, and it wasn't even hitting like that. For, sometimes that, people talk they shit on their music, obviously, but it wasn't hitting for all that. So I feel like he could have kept this one. This was 1 out of 3. And now the next song on there is called Opportunist. He's like how his killer asked for a bonus. It's time to go. And, he's like, yo, if you did it, where you hit him at? Talking to his ops, like, where you hit the man's at if you really hit him? Now, 1 out of 3, another mid song. I'm just like, he's serving up a mid pack for us, but whatever. He in jail. This is the best way. This is the best way. This is the best way he can do. He working with what he got. Track 16. The name is in Arabic. It means like, thanks to God, praise to God. I don't want to say it incorrect, but on track 16, he's like, how he ain't missing no meals. He's thankful. He's praising God. How he got to see his kids. This is just him being thankful and like, I think getting back into his faith and showing like this is what he's serious about while talking about his life. This one I gave it 2 out of 3. It's a pretty good song. And then we end with track 17, Deep Depression. Now I feel like here he really got into just like, hey, this is how it feels navigating what I'm going through right now. I feel like he could have gave more of like present Durk. Like, yes, you pre-recorded these songs, but how you feeling going through your situation right now? So this song, I feel like I gave it 2 out of 3 because it could have hit a bit harder, and I feel like he waited too late to kind of pour that into there. But that's just how I felt. Now, as far as the best solo song, I would say "Shaking When I Pray" or "Monitoring Me." Honestly, I go back and forth, but honestly, I gotta choose. I'll choose Shaking When I Pray as the best solo song. Now, the best feature, I would say Can't Hide It with Janae. And then songs he could have kept. Thank You Glowed. I feel like he definitely could have kept that. Opportunist, he could have kept that for sure. As far as my top 5 songs, Shaking When I Pray, Can't Hide It with Janae, Untouchable, They Want to Be You featuring Future. That always fucks me up. And then Monitoring Me, number 5. Those are my top 5 songs. But overall, honestly, y'all, I gave this album a C. I feel like it's a 6.5 out of 10. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like it was okay. It wasn't really hitting like that. I feel like Almost Healed was a better project than this one for sure. But it could have been that, just going through a lot. But a lot of these songs were already recorded. So I don't know. It was okay. I would say out of all the music I've spoken to y'all about, the one that I was most satisfied with was Party of 2, We Owe You an Explanation. That EP was fire, and I'm really looking forward to whatever else they drop after this. I hope the duo can make it through this. But yeah, that's my reviews for this episode 8. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for rocking with me always. Make sure y'all stay tuned on socials at the Culture Decides. Like I said, I got surprises coming up for y'all. And I want y'all to share y'all art with me so I can share it to the culture listening. And also, if you got something to say to me, say with your chest, click that button in the description box. Send me a text. What's up? Let me know what's on your playlist, what you think of this episode, what you're looking forward to maybe even hearing me talk about, anything like that. But I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all April. I'll be back with more to come soon.